Hello Earthlings. Took a while to do my last video for my coming out playlist. Those other videos just, I guess, took a lot out of me and I just didn't have the energy to do it. And then I was gonna try to do it before Pride Month was up, but it just didn't happen. Anyway, so here I am. I think we're like mid-July now. I don't know. I'm still jobless, so days are just all one thing. It's just same day, different shit, I guess. Not really different shit. Different day, same shit. That's what I was supposed to say. But anyways, this one's about me like figuring out my queerness and all that kind of shit. So, um, and then I was gonna say like my next playlist I'm gonna work on is gonna be about paranormal stuff and like how I view it. And I still really want to like go out and do my own little investigations, but I don't know. Part of me is kind of like weary of it because I don't want to do that kind of stuff alone because it can be not necessarily like the spiritual part dangerous, but just being out in places that might be isolated or something alone is dangerous. But I'm still gonna try to do it. But I'm gonna just start it with telling my stories about what I've experienced, um, and just how I view it. But this one's about my coming out as queer and stuff like that. Like I said in other videos, I wasn't allowed to be basically gay or talk about it. Of course, I didn't really talk about anything because I was walking on eggshells the whole time, my whole childhood. But I guess the first time I really even thought about it was when I met my cousin at the age of 12 and even found out that there was such thing as gay. Because like I think I've said this in one of my other videos about in this playlist, that my cousin told me that when I was like 4 or something like that, I always wanted to be like a boy cop, not just a cop, but like a boy cop. And I really think it was because I thought I had to be a boy, because I knew deep down, I guess, I like girls, but I felt like I couldn't be with girls because I'm a girl. But I guess me thinking that if I could be a boy cop, then I could have a wife. I don't know. But anyways, I was a toddler. But I met my cousin and he was gay and he lived with my grandparents, and that was my first interaction with like an actual gay person. And he was very like blunt about it, even though it's really not spoken about in our family, um, because they didn't really want to talk about it, but he would talk about it. And then there for a while, my dad lived with them. So then he really got to be opened up about it, and I got to meet a lot of his other gay friends. And so I was like, oh wow, so you can like the same sex is basically what it was. Uh, but my mom would talk so much shit about him, like say so many mean things. And so it just kind of made me want to hide that part of me. Um, but anyway, so I guess in high school, I kind of like put out of my mind for a while, and then in high school, I was really starting to realize that like I guess I wasn't boy crazy as they like to call it, which is grooming. People who are like, "Why aren't you boy crazy?" Because I'm a child and I don't really care about dating right now, like in general. Even though deep down I was like, because I don't want to date guys, and clearly I can't date girls right now because it's not safe. Plus, there's probably no one in there that would have dated me anyways. But I started questioning it to myself because I did all this by myself because I had really, well, I felt like I had no one to talk to. But then once I started coming out to people, they're like, oh yeah, we kind of knew, we just was waiting for you to like figure it out, basically. I mean, like one after another. Or they just didn't think anything of it and was like, okay, whatever, you know. I really didn't have too much of like friends wise bad encounters with it, but like my family, it was, oh, you're going through a phase, you'll come out of it. And I'm just like, the fuck you phase, whatever. But anyways, I started questioning it though, but didn't have really anyone to talk to. So like I kind of was raised Christian, so I was praying the gay away. And I prayed the gay away for 2 years. Like I know that because I remember thinking about, I'm like, dude, I prayed the gay away for like 2 years. Because I've told people about this story, like just individuals who asked me like, how did you know, kind of thing. My hood fell on. And it was 2 years that pray, like, can you take these thoughts away? Like, I don't want to think this way. Everyone says it's bad, and I don't want to be a bad person and all that shit. And then after a while, like, there was times where I would cry myself to sleep and shit. But then there was times where, or there was a time where I just got tired of praying it away and was like, well, clearly if you're not going to fix it, then it must not need to be fixed. So at first I thought, well, if he doesn't feel like God doesn't feel like I need to be fixed, because these thoughts, because if anything, when I was praying the gay away, it just intensified. It like got worse, and I was like, nah, man, I really do. I'd rather be with a girl than, because I had like a crush on someone in automotive and all this shit, and so like I knew I liked girls, but so I just kind of like decided like, okay, I am gay, but I'm still not going to come out. I'll come out after high school. So I knew I probably did that around 17, I guess, and so I kind of just hid it from everyone, but was like a little okay with it. But even after coming out, like whenever, because I graduated high school, and as soon as I graduated high school, I went and moved in with my dad, because I was like, I know damn well I'm not going to come out still living underneath my mom's roof. And so I moved in with my dad, but I still hadn't really told him, because I wasn't 100% sure like how he would react. Like, would he be okay with it? Like, yeah, he was kind of okay with, hold on, I'm going to pause this. Okay, I just shut my door, but my dogs are barking, and that's why I had to pause it. But anyways, so like, I knew he knew my cousin was gay, or our cousin, because he's like second cousin or third cousin, I don't know, was gay. He didn't really seem to care. Like, he never talked ill about him or anything. So I didn't think he would care, but I still just wasn't okay with coming out. Like, I think it was like my sister who I was the first one it came out to, I guess. Because there was this guy who was really wanting to try to date me, and I just would not date him, because I was like, no, I don't want to date a dude. And I really thought about it. Like, I thought about dating this guy and thinking like, well, maybe I could, I guess, play it straight. I don't know. Because I did, like him as a friend, and he's not, I mean, we're not close anymore, but he's still like on my Facebook, and I love his mom, which I think I've talked vaguely about her, in another video, but, he, really wanted to date me, and she didn't understand why I wouldn't date him, because she thought he was great and all that, because he is a good guy. But I was just like, I'm not into him that way. And even if I wasn't gay, like, pushing someone on someone like that is very negative. If they don't like the person, they don't like the person. Just because the other person likes you does not mean you have to like them back. I hate that whenever people are like, but they like you, and I'm like, okay, good for them, but like, I don't like them. But anyways, I finally just told her, and she's like, are you gay? That's basically what she said. And then I was like, I mean, I've been kind of debating it for a while and whatever, but apparently if I didn't date this guy, it must mean I was gay, which now I think that is like how negative that is. But anyways, I finally came out to her. She goes, no, I don't care, because my best friend, he had came out a year before I came out, about a year, somewhere around like that. Maybe it was a little longer than a year, but he had came out, and he kind of like helped me understand if my friends, because we were all kind of like mutual friends, because I was a band nerd without being in band, because my sister was, and I hung out with all of them, and he had came out, and they seemed to be okay with it, kind of deal. So I was like, all right, well, I guess if they're okay with him, but sometimes whenever it's your actual sibling or whatever, it's different. They're like, oh, I don't care that he's that, whatever, but they had dated too. It's kind of funny. But anyways, now my dog's just trying to push open the door. What do you want? But anyways, so finally came out with her, and then of course she went off and told all of our mutual friends, and so they found out and knew, and and it was all right. Like, no one made fun of me. I was, out of high school, so like most of them were still in high school technically, because my sister's younger than me. But letting them know was okay, but I still didn't want like my parents and family to know, because especially my family, because I just knew how they would react, because I knew how they thought of gay people. because even though I had a gay cousin, they didn't really like talking about that part of him. So like I knew it wasn't really that okay. Like yeah, they didn't technically shun him, but shit, sometimes you might as well had. But so my friends knew, and I made some new friends, and they would know. But I think it had, yeah, my dad was the first one to find out. And what was going on was I had these two, and I think I've talked about them before. I had these two lesbians who were a couple, and they were like kind of like taking me under their wing about showing like the gay bar and stuff like that. The ones I could go to, because you could be 18 back then, but you had like the exes or whatever. And there's still some today, but I was young, and so I couldn't drink, of course. But anyways, but I hang out with her at their apartment a lot, and my dad knew they were gay, and I guess my sister talked about them being gay. But my mom one night was calling dad. I guess she was calling my sister, and my sister wasn't picking up, and so she was like calling my dad going, why aren't she picking her up, blah blah blah, and he goes, they're hanging out with friends, like what the hell, because some of our mutual friends had came up also to come hang out with me and hang out with them. And so we were all at their apartment, and hold on, let's back out. Didn't stay very long, but anyway, so we're all at the friend's house. He comes over, knocks on the door, and he's all like, hey, y'all's mom's freaking out. She doesn't want my sister over there because she knows they're gay. And I'm like, how does she know they're gay? And I guess it was because my sister was being dumb and said something. Or maybe my dad let it slip. I don't know who did it, but she found out and didn't want my sister hanging out with gay people. So therefore, I also knew she was not going to be okay with me. So we're sitting there, and he's not on the phone with her or anything, but he's saying like, will you just come over and call her and talk to her for a few minutes, and then, you know, act like everything's fine, and then you can come back over here, because he didn't care that we were hanging out with them. Because usually the next day when they would go to work, we would go back over there and hang out with him. So like we were hanging out with both. Anyways, my sister yells out, Mom knows you're gay. And I was just like, wow, way to say that right in front of Dad, because I had came out to him. And apparently he didn't hear it, or maybe it just didn't register, I don't know, but he didn't hear it. And then he was like, what? But then my friend, who was on the phone with another friend, she's the one who repeated what my sister said, and then that was what he heard. And so then he found out, he goes, are you? And I was just like, oh my gosh. So I went back to the back bedroom where my other friends were, and I was on the phone with another friend, and I was like, my sister just basically outed me in front of my dad, in front of our dad. And he's like, you're gonna have to go out there and talk to him. It was the guy who had like crush on me. He was all like, why can't you be bisexual and just date me? And I'm like, I don't think it works that way. I know I'm gay, not bisexual. I'm gay. Because I've never really liked, every time I think about being with a guy, it just doesn't feel right. Even with someone who was as cool as him. Like, if I did go down that route, it probably would have been a decent relationship, but like eventually I'd be like, nah man, I'm gay. I can't do this anymore. And then I would have hurt him even more than hurting him without even going out with him. And that was my concept, because I really overthought that shit. Like I was like, maybe it'll be okay. Like maybe I can just be with this guy and be fine. But every time I thought about it, I was like, no, it's not. It doesn't feel right. Anyway, so my dad's like, are you? And I was like, yeah. Anyways, I run back there, and I come back. They go back there and say, hey, go up there and talk to him. And I'm just like, all right, fine. And so I go up there, I get off the phone with my friend, and I go up there. They stay in the back room, and I go up there and talk to him. And he was like, is this why you're always hanging out over here? And I was like, well, yeah, kind of. But he also was in a 1-bedroom apartment. And so like, I was sleeping on a futon, and they had a spare bedroom with a bed. So I was like, I mean, they do have a bed that I can sleep on. And I think at first, I don't think they had a bed at first. And so I slept on the couch a lot. But it was still more comfy than my futon, because the futon was like crap. I slept on that damn thing for like years. No wonder I have back issues. But anyway, so he's like, did you think I was gonna kick you out or something? I was like, I don't know. I mean, everybody else seems to not care for being gay, and clearly mom doesn't like it. And he goes, no, I mean, I don't care. But anyway, so he was cool with it. He goes, he was like, does this mean you actually start hanging out more at my house or at the apartment? Because they lived across the street. Like, we literally went across the street to go to their place. Because there was apartments right across from each other. But, anyway, so that's how he found out. And then my mom, like I said, my sister was all like, she knows you're gay, whatever. I'm like, yeah, but how is she reacting to it, kind of thing. And I don't think she really had much to say. And she was just like, just come out to her already so it can get over with, basically. So I had been dating a girl for a good month. And so this was when texting first kind of started. That's how old I am, okay? Texting wasn't a huge thing, but I had the flip phone, the T9, whatever. But my mom did not text. And she's like, well, who's texting me? So I text her, and apparently it was on a Sunday. I remember that because they were on a Sunday drive. My mom, my sister, and my sister's boyfriend at the time. And so my sister had to read this text out loud because my mom was driving. And she didn't talk to me for 2 weeks. She apparently got really mad about it. And my sister was like, why did you have to do that? You ruined our day. And I'm just like, that's why. Because I didn't want to have to be there when she found out. And then, but my sister, I guess, got over it. She was just like, I didn't want to have to, because she was reading the text before she read it out loud and was like, oh my god, this is really how she's going to tell her. Oh my gosh, hold on. I keep pausing it because I keep barking. But anyways, so that's how I've told her. She didn't talk to me for 2 weeks, and then she showed up at my work and was like, I'm not okay with it, but I don't want to lose a daughter over it. So basically she was just letting me know that I'm not disowning you for this. Is basically what she was saying. She came to my work for that. After not talking to me for like 2 weeks, I literally thought she was just not going to talk to me ever again. So I was like, okay, fine with me. I now don't talk to her at all. Except for a few times that I had to because she was at my sister's house and I was there visiting with my nephew. And, another thing she told me, she goes, what are you trying to do? Send me to an early grave? Apparently me coming out as gay was killing her. But yet she's still alive. She's not well, but she's still alive. I laugh at that because what's funny is that she verbally abused me most of my life, if not all of it, and she has throat issues. Like her throat muscle or whatever, something about a muscle just completely died basically. And so she had to have surgery like years ago, because I remember as a kid, because I remember having to like give her the shot. I don't know what the shot was for, which I hate freaking needles. So I'm shocked that I was even able to do it. I'm like, why don't you let her do it? She's your favorite daughter. But I had to do it because I was the oldest. And it just, I don't really know what they did, but made it a little bit larger so food could basically go down. So to me, it's just kind of like, yeah, your throat chakra is fucked because you choose to verbally abuse people. Is basically what I think of it. But also, she eats a shit ton of salt. That's not good for you. Like, I remember as a kid, and I don't eat a lot of salt. Like, I don't really eat salt. I use other types of seasoning, which I know that some salt is okay. But watching my mom, I mean, literally take a burger from Burger King. I remember going to Burger King and eating, and she would take those little packets, the whole freaking packet on one bite. Take a bite. I mean, she would grab 30 of those damn things. One whole... I don't even, like, does your food not taste good to you? Like, I don't know why she was so big about putting so much salt on stuff. So I think that was another part of why her throat is fucked up. But anyways, so, I mean, she's still working, she's still doing shit, but she has problems eating. Apparently only when she claims when she eats junk food, salty food, that's what stays down. But when she tries to eat other types of food, apparently that's why she'll end up having to throw it up. Anyways, but she had another surgery not too long ago. Basically where they just cut the whole freaking muscle, so it's just like she eats and it just falls down, I guess. I don't really know the concept of all that, but I just kind of crackle at it because she verbally abused me most of my life, and now she has throat issues. But and then I kind of came out to my other family on my dad's side. Basically with them it was, we're not going to disown you, but we're also not going to let you talk about it. We don't want to see it. Which I don't understand why that. Like, are they meaning they don't want to see me having sex? Because even if I was straight, I wouldn't let them see me watching, or have them watch me have sex anyways. So, like, what exactly are you not wanting to see? Because my uncle on my mom's side, who's the only family, well, actually, he stopped talking to me too, but my aunt, I text her every so often, and I called her not too long ago to kind of like chat with her and stuff and see how she's doing, because she's not in the greatest health, and now she's living alone, so I kind of worry about her. But she doesn't care. When I came out to her, she flat out said that, oh, I already knew, I was just waiting for you to tell me. And then she told me about how her and my grandmother had a conversation about me being gay, because my grandmother, like I said in another video, she passed away whenever I was 14. So even my grandmother apparently knew, and I can only go by what my aunt says, that she wasn't gonna care, but which I hope that's true. But I also don't think I don't see why my aunt would feel the need to lie about something like that. So I believe her, but she doesn't care either. Now my uncle though, he basically was like the same thing. When I came out when I was younger, because I didn't talk to him for 10 years, which I think I talk about that in another video. He basically was just like, what influenced you to be that way? And I'm pretty sure he even brought up Ellen. It's like, did you watch Ellen? And I'm like, I mean, I know her, but I didn't watch any of her stuff. I just remember hearing about her coming out and how it ruined her career and shit. And I'm like, okay, still gonna be gay. But then years later, when I went back and seen them to see if I can rekindle a relationship with some of my family, because I don't have any relationship with any of my family basically, he thought the reason why I stopped talking to him all those years was because of how he reacted to me being gay. And so he kind of like half-ass apologized, and he was like you can bring her over if you're dating someone, but I just don't want to see it. So basically I'd have to act like she was my friend, I guess. And to me it means that I can't even hold her hand. Like, he doesn't even want to see us holding hands. Like, I probably have to sit at the other end of the couch while she sits on the other end of the couch. Like, that's what I think of is when they say I don't want to see it. If it's not that, then it's the alternative, and that's because they don't want, I guess, me seeing her, give her a kiss or something. But I'm like, that's bullshit, because I guarantee you if my sister was smooching on her husband or something, or gave a kiss to her husband, he probably wouldn't do anything about it. So just stupid. I don't want to be around people who are like that. But so anyways, that's my coming out story. And then even after I came out, I mean, it was really hard, and that was kind of one of the reasons why I was gonna end my life at 19, was mostly because of how my mom reacted, which I shouldn't. I mean, I know some people are like, you shouldn't let what she does. I mean, I was trying to please her so damn much and be the perfect daughter that it ruined me, for a while. But then I was just like, you know what, forget you. I don't care anymore. And I really don't care what she thinks of me. I mean, even my college stuff that I did, horticultural and my art and stuff, she thinks that was a waste of time, and like, I'm not achieving anything. Like, I don't think she'd ever be proud of me. I probably could be working for NASA and she still wouldn't be proud of me, because I'd be a gay astronaut and she wouldn't be proud of me. Yeah. I don't talk to most of my family because they're a bunch of homophobes. That's why chosen family is more important to me. And that's why I kind of talk about that in a way. I think I've talked about that in some other videos, about caring about your chosen family rather than your blood family, because blood family can suck. Just because you're born into that family doesn't mean it doesn't mean they're your spiritual family. That's how I view it. you have this physical family that you were born into, and I guess in some sense to learn lessons or whatever, but your spiritual family is out there somewhere, and they're gonna be the ones who seem more like a mom or whatever, seem more like a sister, you know, whatever, than your own blood relatives. So, but anyway, so that's how I come out as lesbian, which I still claim as a lesbian. But now I'm non-binary, and that took me a while to figure out, because honestly, for the longest time, I didn't know what non-binary was, and I've never felt like whenever I started developing boobs, I hated it, and I still hate it, and there's still some times where I think about having top surgery done, but going under surgery freaks me out, and plus I don't have health care, so I can't do it anyways. But hopefully in the near future, if I did get to be able to have health care and I knew it was going to be safe and the person was, you know, a safe person to go to do, then maybe I would do it, because I really don't. But then I'm also kind of like, maybe I should try out just working out, because I know sometimes when you work out, you kind of lose that fat, and maybe I can lose it that way, lose them that way, or at least lose enough of them that way that they're not so, I don't like them, period, the end. I've been recently thinking about this, actually. But, dang, these dogs. Anyways, so fast forward, or I guess fast forward to, I guess whenever I was 30, well, not even 30, 31 is when I came out as non-binary on my birthday, which was 2021. Oh wait, no, 20, when I turned 31? A few years ago. Anyways, I came out on my birthday about being non-binary, because I started seeing it on Instagram and stuff, and I was like, what is this? And I kind of looked into it. I was like, oh, so it's kind of like, because, oh, that's another thing. Over the years, even whenever I was a youngling, I had long hair down to my back, or almost down to my butt. Like, it was really long. And people would still be like, look at that boy with pretty long hair. And I'm just like, what? I mean, I kind of understood when before I was developing, but then there was like some boobage there, and I'm just like, do you not see that I have boobs? I'm a girl. But even then, like, and then I had short hair for a long time, and I would get called sir, gentleman. I really like being called a gentleman. I'm like, yeah, I'm a gentleman. Old people like to call me that sometimes. This one old lady called me that, and I was like, yeah. And then this other lady actually who helped me realized that she called me by the wrong thing and was like, I'm so sorry, but kind of like underling. And I'm like, yeah, you can't correct her, but you're gonna apologize to me for what she did. And I was like, dude, most of the time I go, it happens all the time, I don't care anymore. But whenever I was younger, it did piss me off, and I would ignore people who did it, because I'm just like, no, forget you. But then there's times where people are doing it on purpose because they think it's gonna hurt me. I can tell in their voice when they're doing it for that reason. But then I can tell in their voice when they honestly thought I was a dude, and then as soon as I turn around and really look at them, like, oh my god, I'm so sorry, and then they like apologize and they correct themselves and stuff, and I'm just like, honestly, it doesn't matter, because I get called sir all the time, so don't worry about it. But they still feel so sorry about it. Now I really just don't care. I'm like, yeah, cool, think of me as a dude, because I'll probably get more respect as a dude than I will as a woman, so why not? But now I'm non-binary, and I thought I had a queer community, but then I realized that when I came out as non-binary, nobody cared about it. Like, I had transgender friends, nothing against transgenders, gingers, whatever, trans people. I can't talk, apparently. But anyways, when they would come out, my mutual friends, these are mutual friends, I'm not like talking about people who don't even know each other, I'm talking about mutual friends, would get on there, react to it, congratulate them, you know, tell them that they support them, blah, blah, blah. And then I come out as non-binary and got absolutely nothing. So whenever I came out, that was whenever I really started looking at my friends and going, are these really my friends? Or are they just people who act nice around me? Because I always had this feeling like, I thought I was just being paranoid, and it's like, oh, they're just being nice to me, they don't actually really like me. And I thought it was just like this insecurity thing. But now I'm starting to look at it as like, Nope, I knew who they were outright, and that um I was my empath, because I knew I was an empath because someone told me about it, and I was like, oh, you feel people. I was feeling what they were actually feeling, but I second guessed myself so much that I wasn't actually going off that feeling. I was thinking, oh no, you're just being paranoid. I was basically gaslighting myself. Let's put it that way. But anyways, so I just cut them all off my Facebook, off my Instagram, and was like, I'm gonna go find people who actually understand me. And that's why I'm doing these videos, is so that way I can find people who respect me for who I am as a whole, not just as parts of me. And that's why I'm telling this story, to find those people, because honestly, I feel freaking lonely. Like, I have people on my Facebook, but there's really no one on there that's that close. Like, even my best friend, I mean, he has a boyfriend now, so I guess he's just up that boyfriend's ass all the time. And apparently you can't be friends with other people when you have a boyfriend, but whatever. If you ever watch this, he knows I'm talking about him. But, I mean, he used to video chat me randomly, and now he doesn't. So that's just the point of that I'm getting at, is, like, no one really contacts me that much. And then, like, sometimes I'll send him a snap, but he'll might read it, but he won't respond to it. So, like, to me, I'm just like, who's really my friend? And then I thought I had a friend up here finally, and then he got weird. And then I have a friend in California who would be probably my close friend if he was living here again, but he's not in California because that's where his kid is, so I get that. But he'll video chat me every so often, which is really cool, because I can talk to him about anything. Like, I rant to him a lot of times, and he just totally gets it. And I'm like, why can't you live close? Of course, then I go, maybe I should just move back to California. But that costs money, and I can't do it. But anyways, it would be nice to live out there, because then I can smoke weed and not have to worry about anything. Yeah. So being non-binary, though, back on that, it kind of helped me not be so hateful to myself and my body, I guess, in a sense. Because then now it's kind of like, well, it looks like however I look. But I do think about getting a top surgery done, because I just don't like having boobs. Nothing against them. I just don't want them. Yeah, I guess that's really all. That's my journey of figuring myself out. Which I feel like I've figured it out. Like, like, it really fits. Although I've always disliked labels, but I think the reason why I dislike labels was because I hadn't found the label that fits me, and that's why I dislike them. But in reality, I do hope we get to a point where we don't have to worry about labels, and that we are. We just exist, and we're just cool, and we're not going to think, well, are you in a gay relationship, or are you in a straight relationship? Well, are you in a, like, all these different... I get why we need them now, because we need to represent ourselves, but I hope in the future that we don't have to worry too much about them, because the people who hate on us, they will die out. The kids are showing that. Children are not being like their parents just as much. Like, there's more curse breakers, cycle breakers out there than there ever has been, and I see that in the kids and know that our future is safe. We just have to keep doing those steps to get to that point. And that's another reason why I want to become president, because I want to change all that. I want to make it where the people that do hate crimes actually go to jail. Seriously, they should go to jail for even threatening people's lives, because to me, that is the most verbal abuse of them all. If you can sit there and threaten someone's life, then what's stopping you from acting that out and killing them? They fucking do it, because hate crimes are all over the place. Children are dying because of mass shooting. Like, it's just disgusting. But yeah, that's my video on me coming out. It wasn't as long as those other ones, but it's getting there. So hope you guys, keep healing out there, keep finding your people out there, find your peace within, and just keep going, because it will get better. We will make this place better. We will. It's already in motion. Just remember that. Us getting better has been in motion and is still in motion, and I think there's going to be a huge motion in the future. So yeah, just keep staying alive so we can make this world a better place for us and the future people and the spirits who have been trapped here. Which that's going to be my other videos, is paranormal. I'm really going to get into that. I watched that shit since I was a kid. But I'm here for spirits and the living. That's what I'm here for. But peace within, Earthlings.